Hey y'all, welcome to Back to Basics with Crystal. Well, you've probably heard on the news, maybe you've read about it on Facebook, or maybe it's affected you or one of your family members. The flu is here. This has been one of the worst flu seasons that we've seen in a really long time. It's been deadly, to be honest. And the vaccine that they have for it is only 10% effective this year. Now, the flu, in case you didn't know, is a virus. And as a virus, there's not much that the doctors can do for you. They can't prescribe you an antibiotic unless the flu causes something like pneumonia or sepsis. Then they can treat you with some pretty heavy-duty antibiotics. But the flu, since it is a virus, has to really just kind of run its course. And unfortunately, the flu takes 7 to 10 days about to run through your system, to run its full course. Now, the doctors do have a medicine that they can prescribe called Tamiflu. Tamiflu is not a cure. What it does is it's actually going to shorten the time that you have the flu. But Tamiflu has had some pretty bad reactions, especially with kids this year. Side effects, allergic reactions, hallucinations, crazy stuff. So what we do when the yuckies hit our house, which they did starting yesterday, so we're on day 2 of the yuckies, we start a flu protocol. What exactly is a flu protocol? Well, the first thing we do is we all start taking elderberry syrup. Those of us that are not sick will take elderberry syrup twice a day, once in the morning and once at night. The person who is sick will take it every 2 hours. And the way we take it is it's like 1 ounce. We use a shot glass. So we start the elderberry syrup. The other thing is that we confine the yuckies to a room with an air purifier. Tell a teenager they can go sleep in their room all day and don't have to do anything. All they have to do is play on their devices. They're happy campers. So we confine it to the room with an air purifier. Not an air filter, an air purifier. And what the air purifier does, it will actually then kill some of the germs that are floating around the air. The other thing that I do is I go disinfect every hard surface in my house. Dishes, I put a little bit of bleach in the dishwater, and I spray Lysol. You can use a more natural product, whatever you have on hand. I spray everything down. Light switches, toilets, sinks, doorknobs, cabinet doors, everything. Everything gets doused. Every time the sick person comes out of the room, the house gets sprayed down again. So we confine it, we give it elderberry syrup, and we disinfect everything. The other thing that I do is I like to diffuse a little bit of essential oils. Peppermint, camphor, and mentha. I just take a couple of little drops each and put in a little diffuser a couple of times a day. And what that does is it just helps kind of break up the congestion that you have going on. The other thing is that I start yelling at everybody to wash their hands. You get a virus, like the flu. You can get it from your mouth, from your nose, from your eyes. Let's say you're in a public place and somebody who has the flu coughs or wipes their mouth and then touches the surface, and then you come behind them and touch a surface and scratch your eye. You just caught the flu. It's that simple. So I yell at everybody to wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. And all of that, we can most of the time, I'm going to say most of the time, keep it to a minimum to keep the rest of the house from getting it. Because once a virus starts circulating in your house, it just doesn't stop. It just keeps going back and forth. Okay, so what is elderberry syrup? Well, it's made from elderberries. And if you have not heard of them by now, it has been studied and proven by scientists that elderberries actually are amazing for fighting the flu, fighting the common cold, fighting the flu, upper respiratory infections. It's amazing for that. And it's actually been proven to work better than Tamiflu without the side effects. So we're going to start with 2/3 of a cup of elderberries. I buy these in bulk, and I will link below where you can get them at so you can get some for yourself. I also use 1 tablespoon of ginger. You can use ground or you can use fresh. And with fresh, I usually judge it, it's about the palm of my hand. And what I'll do is I'll wash this off really, really well, get all of the dirt, because ginger is a root, it's a tuber. Make sure I have all the dirt off of it, and then I'll slice it up and throw it in the pot. I typically don't peel it. So the other thing that you're going to need is 1/2 cup to 1 cup of raw honey. This is important. Find a local source, a farmer nearby, and buy raw honey. If it doesn't say pure honey, it's not honey. And this is crystallized. And if your honey is crystallized like this, it's still good. It's perfectly good. You don't want to microwave it. What you want to do is put it in some hot water to kind of loosen it up. Now, I want to put a disclaimer out there. If raw honey is not recommended for kids under 2. Honey carries botulism, a very, very small amount of it. Us adults and kids over 2, our stomach insides are developed enough to fight against the very, very teeny tiny microscopic amounts of botulism that you get in raw honey. Infants and kids under 2, their system is not able to fight that off yet, so you can make them really sick. So kids under 2, it's not recommended to use raw honey. If you're making this for kids under 2, omit the raw honey and put in some sort of sweetener. What you're going to need is a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. I prefer to use cinnamon sticks rather than ground, and I'll tell you why in a second. The cinnamon sticks that I have right here are actually Saigon cinnamon, and I buy these in bulk as well. You can use any cinnamon that you have. Don't go out and buy something special just because that's what I use. But Saigon cinnamon is not as sweet, and it's kind of it's a little bit more pungent. I think that's the word I'm looking for. It smells really good. It's used in Vietnamese cooking. If you've ever had pho, that's the kind of cinnamon that they use, and that's the kind of smell that you're going to get. And then last but not least, we need cloves. We're going to use a teaspoon. I've seen other people use 1/2 teaspoon. I use a full teaspoon of cloves. Now, when I can, I prefer to use the whole clove, the whole ginger, the whole cinnamon. And the reason why is because when you strain it, you actually get all of it out, and there's no sediment at the bottom of the jar. This one has a little bit of sediment from the cloves because I'm using ground cloves. And so you just have to shake it up every time. So we just don't like the sediment. It's just not appealing to us. So I use the whole berries or whole cinnamon or whole ginger when I can. your family comes down with the flu, I recommend make some of this up. But make sure you get your elderberries now while everybody's healthy and not while after you get sick. You don't want that. I hope you guys found this video to be informative, and I hope that you give this a try. For us, it really does shorten the amount of time that we're sick. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button now, and until we talk again, y'all have a great day. Bye.